I know how to date better than you. And that's just a fact, because odds are you're not engaged and I am. So I'm an authority on this topic now. I'm someone who's an expert, as they would call
I like that one.
Oh, you're really ruining my train of thought here at the beginning of the episode. I'm an expert, and you're not. You're a stupid loser who doesn't know how to date because you're not engaged. I am. I'm an expert.
What about the people that are married?
I know what I'm doing. No one married is listening to this. And you don't. I'm an expert on dating. I'm sorry, you probably never thought it'd be this way. For those of you who knew me growing up, my siblings, my friends who listened to the show, you knew I was weird. You knew I was the guy who's like, hey, that guy never has a girlfriend. Why?
Aww.
Is he gay?
Yes.
Do you want a divorce? Or I'm not pre-divorce you. I will pre-divorce you, woman.
No.
Can I finish a train of thought?
Sure, yeah, go for it.
Is he just a total player? Hint, that was the correct answer. Maybe he just loves fiddling around. No, I was a unique little canary. I don't know what it was, but you ruined my train of thought, Beth, so now I don't know where I was going with that. But I know what I'm doing and you don't. So today I'm going to teach you how to date. How did I get to this place? Matt, how did you get such happiness and such a rich life? It wasn't by accident. There's a science to this. There's a way to date that is foolproof. It's not going to waste your time. You'll feel good about it every time. You're never going to feel like it was a waste of time. And it will be the most efficient dating for you. So all you single people out there, listen up. Let me tell you how to date in today's day and age. It's going to be a little different, and I'll add some caveats. But I'm going to give you some tips today, ladies and gentlemen. These are golden tips. These are my secret tips that I can release out of the vault because I'm a taken man. I'm hanging up the jersey. I'm retired from the dating world. So I'm willing to share my secrets with you guys and tell you what worked for me. So without further ado, I, Matt Thomas, am going to teach you how to date.
Even I'm intrigued by this podcast.
You should be.
And I'm your fiance. So
How to
here we
date.
go.
Listen to me, you stupid idiots. Now, number one, pick a weekday. Weekdays are much better than weekends for a number of reasons. Number one, it's just less pressure. If you're doing weekend dates, you're putting pressure on the girl and you're putting pressure on yourself to make it worth it. Now, there's a couple caveats to this, which is one, if it's just a quick thing, if you're into very quick dates, and this will come in later on in the tips, so stay tuned for that. But I'd say in generally speaking, there's obviously exceptions to this, but generally speaking, stick to weekdays. I liked doing in my days Wednesday, Thursday. That was great. You're not interfering with anything. Thursday dates are the best in my opinion. It's no pressure. You're not wasting any time. It's not like you went on a date and you come out with your friends afterwards like you would on a Friday or Saturday. Like, that date sucked and I'm in a bad mood now. I spent $400 at some crappy restaurant I didn't even like and she sucked. She had the personality of a tadpole and it wasn't fun. And so now you're angry. But weekdays tend to work the best, and it gives you something to look forward to. I would avoid Monday dates now. That's another caveat. Mondays and Sundays are easily the worst days to do dates. If you do either of these days, you're a psychotic person. Mondays especially. I don't know who in the right mind would do that. I'm never in a good mindset on Monday. I don't think most people are, but that's a rambling for another time. Weekdays are the better time to do dates. Like I said, if you are going to do a weekend date, Fridays are okay. Saturdays, you're playing with fire here, but even Fridays, I would be like, hey, what are you doing?
Even though we went on our first date on a Friday.
Fridays are weekdays, right?
You've just said pick a weekday. It even says on this
I just said it's hey,
Tuesday, Wednesday,
preferably.
Thursday.
Can I talk and give my points before you try to pick apart what I say?
I let you have your points.
Jesus, you weren't listening to it clearly.
Friday's
a weekday, right? Or in British land, is it not?
Okay, but on here it says pick a weekday. Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yeah,
Thursday.
preferably Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay, but Fridays work well for us.
Friday works well for us. That doesn't. It's
Yeah,
the
that's all right
exception,
for us.
not the rule. Ever heard of that?
No, okay. All right. I'll let you speak now. Sorry.
And now I'm bragging about being engaged, but who knows how long this is going to last.
Stop.
All right, point number 2.
I know do.
Have 1 to 5 drinks beforehand.
Wow.
Now, your
Wow.
level may vary. Your level may vary. You may do 1 drink. You may do 2 drinks. You may do 5 drinks. You may do 17 drinks. I don't know your tolerance. My sweet spot's around 3. I like 3 drinks before a date, 3 to 4 drinks before a date. Loosens you up, makes you more you. And if you're doing a weekday date like you should be doing, you got to have a drink beforehand. You're going to be in work mode. It's really tough to get out of work mode. I don't know how you guys are, but I'm working all day, grinding at work. And I want to go on a fun date and be fun and be myself. And I have a tough time zoinking out of work mode. So you got to have some drinks beforehand. Now, don't do liquor or anything like that. I'd avoid wine, too. I'd say stick with a beer. Now, for the ladies, have a couple White Claws if you want. Just loosen up. You'll be so happy you did. You get to the date, you're like, hey, I'm loosey-goose. I'm having a good time. And you have a couple more drinks on the date. Now, don't get too fucking drunk. It's a bad idea. But know your limit. I'm saying 1 to 5. 8. I could have put 1 to 20. You want to have 20 drinks beforehand? Maybe you're Andre the Giant and it takes a lot of beers to get you fucked up. I don't know. For me, it's 3. For you, it's probably 1.
How many drinks did you have before our first date?
Probably 3.
I had a Chick-fil-A.
Because I was with my brother Mike beforehand, and we were drinking. So I probably had 3 or 4 drinks before, and I felt great. I felt awesome, and that date went very well.
I had a Chick-fil-A before.
Good for you.
Yeah, I didn't have any drinks, just a Chick-fil-A.
That's weird. Not taking my advice, I see. Have some drinks. I think this more applies for guys than girls. I mean, girls, you probably want to be cautious on your dates. Obviously, don't go overboard. But I still think it's good to loosen up before your date. I think alcohol is a very positive thing in this aspect. People shit on alcohol too much. They're like, oh, alcohol is so bad. No one ever talks about the good things about alcohol. That's not true. But no one accentuates it in social circumstances. I think it's a positive thing in social circumstances. You have an awkward dinner party, alcohol. You have an awkward date, alcohol. Use it. Don't use it all the time, but as a nice little booster to boost the date, make it a little bit more fun, get your humor out, makes you a little bit more risky. You'll say funnier things on the date. I think it's a crucial part of any successful date. And this kind of leads me to my next point. You kind of gave me a nice little segue, which is eat beforehand.
Chick-fil-A.
You got to eat beforehand. And this goes along with, don't eat a lot. I don't want you to eat a whole Domino's pizza, but you should eat something. You should be eating maybe a wrap from your local Kroger, your local Ralph's, your local Bristol Farms, your local Piggly Wiggly, your local Food Line, your local Publix. You get something a little something. Maybe a shrimp cocktail. That's a good thing. Don't eat Chipotle burritos. Don't eat a fucking big hamburger. You want to eat something that's going to tide you over and absorb that drink a little bit. The other reason you do this is because it leads into my next point, but don't go yet.
Okay.
You don't want to be hungry for this date. You don't want to be hungry for the date. If you're eating or not, which I would recommend against, we'll get to that. You don't want to be hungry and eating like a big fat pig on this date. You don't want to be ravenous. You want to be in a happy little place. You want to be satiated is the word I'm looking for. And if you go into this date hungry as a goose and you start slugging down mozzarella sticks and you're stuffing your face with fries, that's a turnoff. So eat beforehand. Plan ahead. Eat beforehand, drink beforehand. Don't go on fancy dinner dates. And this leads me to my next point, I believe. Yes, pick a drink spot. Don't you dare pick a fancy dinner spot or even a dinner spot. Stupid idea. I've been on enough dates to know it doesn't work out well. For guys, this is mainly for guys, you're going to pay a fortune. You don't want to pay $150 on a first date. It doesn't make any sense for you. Why would you do that? Just pick a drink spot. Eat beforehand. Go to the place you're not hungry. Or if you do, it doesn't have to be just a drink spot. Although I'd recommend that. But even if it is, you're not going to be hungry when you get there because you ate beforehand. You had a couple drinks. You don't want to ruin your buzz. So you just order, I don't know, fries for the table or something. You pick at it, or maybe a pizza, and you split a pizza. It costs you $25. You're done. But dinner spots, I don't like. It's too much pressure. Like, why are we having, especially on first, second dates, why are we doing this? I mean, second dates may be a little different, but this is mainly focused on first dates. First dates, what are you thinking? What if you walk in the room, and this happens with so many people, you walk in, you sit down, they open their mouth, and you're like, I hate them. I hate them. I don't even know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. I hate them, and I don't want to see them ever again. A lot of us do that. And so why would you waste at least 45 minutes sitting down and getting dinner somewhere?
My best friend actually went on a date with a guy, and we called him Chicken Fingers because on their first date they had chicken wings, and his fingers were covered in like chicken wing juice.
See, Exhibit A. Exhibit A. You don't want chicken wing fingers on your first date. It's a no-win scenario. No one looks sexy eating food. And someone's going to post some snarky, Angelina Jolie, did you see her in that movie? She was so... Shut up. No, I disagree with you. It's weird. It doesn't look good. It's not good for first impressions. You don't want to look like Buffalo Chicken Face in here. It's not a good idea. It's no win. There's nothing worse than when you're sitting there and they ask you a question and your mouth is full. You're like, whoa. Just don't do it. And it's going to be way more expensive. Keep it drinks. You're going to be able to duck out of there if it's not a fancy dinner spot. If you're having a bad time, it's 30 minutes. You can cut it short at 30 minutes. You pay for her drink, pay for yours, and you go. Or if you're a girl, you just enjoy your free drink.
No, I mean, you might come on to this another point later, but I don't agree with the man fully paying for the first date.
Okay, it doesn't come up later because I don't give a shit if you pay or not. It does not my business, and that doesn't determine a successful date or not, in my opinion. No, that's just a fact. So shut up. Whoever pays doesn't matter. But you need to have an escape plan, right? So when you get to the place in dinner, we've all been there. You're at a shitty dinner and you're sitting there and they're taking forever for the food to come out. And then the food comes out. You got to eat the food. You feel uncomfortable eating in front of someone else. Then you get really tired after you eat. Ruins your buzz. It's not a good scenario. Just eliminate these things. Strip it down to the simplicity of what it is. A date is supposed to be you getting to know the other person. So talk. Have a drink. Loosen up. Talk. You don't need food involved. Get some beer nuts or something. Something snacky is fine, but you don't need a 8-course meal. You don't need a plate of spaghetti bolognese. And I don't remember what my next point is, but I guess we'll go to it. Ask all the questions. Now, this is a typical sales technique. This isn't a very interesting point. Everyone knows this if you have half of a brain. But ask all the questions. It makes people feel important. Because I promise you, if you ask all the questions, you're constantly, where do you work? And how do you like that? And where are you from? And how many siblings do you have? And where'd you go to college? And where do you live now? And people love talking about themselves. We're all narcissistic assholes. That's just the nature of humans. So if you ask people a lot of questions, they're going to be like, they were very engaged in the conversation. And if you're both doing that, competing for who can ask more questions, it's going to go very well. And you might actually be interested in it. And it just makes the conversation flow a lot better. But they're going to leave that date. If you ask all the questions, they're going to leave and be like, holy fucking shit. This is what you did, Beth. You're like, Matt was very interested in my life. He was interested in where I came from in England. Yeah. He actually knew a lot more than I thought he would about England. I did. I did indeed. And you were probably like, wow, he was so interested in my life. Which I was. And I nailed it.
You did nail it.
Nailed it. Because it makes people feel important. And you're not asking questions. Why are you on the date, you idiot? Aren't you trying to find out about this person? Something to think about. Next. Don't give a fuck. This is very important because obviously it's the first date. Who gives a shit? Say whatever you want. Be yourself. This goes with getting a little drunk beforehand. It's important. Be yourself. Talk. Say whatever you want. Let yourself free. You don't want to start this off on the wrong foot, lying to the person and pretending to be someone else. Who cares what they think? They're a total stranger. Maybe it's somebody who like, my friend, I think, but my friend Marissa thinks your friend Brian's cute, and then you get set up on a blind date or something like that. I guess, that's a little different, but if you are Tinder dates or Bumble dates, which is most dates these days. That's how me and Bethany met, who just ran to the kitchen because I think she's burning our dinner. Is everything okay in there? Okay. It's not burning, is it? Okay. And then that ruined my train of thought again. But it's like it's inconsequential. Especially if you're in a big city. This is a little different if you're in a smaller city. There's a chance you could see this person again. But if you're in a larger city over a population of like, I don't know, 300,000 people, 200,000 people, you're not going to see them again. Who cares? Say whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Be whoever you want. Be yourself. Be genuine. And that's so corny to say. But this ties back in with that second point I had. Or I don't know, was it second or third? Drink.
Drinks.
Be yourself. Let yourself come out a little bit. You should be unabashedly yourself 100% on the first date. Come out swinging. Because this timid stuff where people sit across from each other. Oh, and you work at this job. Oh, nice. Okay, great. Well, my mother is from Louisiana. Shut up. Be yourself. Tell stupid jokes. Get on the, toe the line a little bit. I don't understand this fear people have of like opening up on the first date. Like, it's just, we didn't really click. Yeah, well, maybe it's because you weren't talking like you normally talk. People are like, oh, I thought they would have worked out. They went on a date, didn't work out. Well, first dates tend to be the worst dates.
True.
And I just came up with that saying now. First dates are the worst dates. Wow, what a saying. That's the name of the show today. First dates, worst dates.
Okay.
Or how to date. I don't know.
Okay.
You don't seem very interested in this show.
I am.
Okay.
I am. You said that I keep butting in, so I'm trying to not butt in.
Well, you just don't know when to butt in. You butt in, you're like, we're always on and on. Like, I'm not even 3 words into a sentence, and you just, like, totally ruin my train of thought and try to interrupt me.
Okay, well, first of all, I say too much, and then second of all, I don't say anything at all.
No, it's not that you're not saying anything. You're just, like, looking at me like, oh, this sucks. I hate this.
No, I'm just looking at you with adoration.
Okay, well.
I love you so much.
See, ladies and gentlemen, I did something right when I was dating. Next slide. Number 7, have an after date option. Why? Matt, oh my God, this is weird advice. What do you mean by after date option? Are you planning to sleep with this poor woman? No,
Right.
it's not what I mean. I mean, have a place you can go to afterwards in case the date goes well. I don't mean your house. I don't mean her apartment. I don't mean a hotel. I mean another bar, another location, another club, another friend's house, someplace you can go in case you're really clicking with this person. You need to have a suggestion. So if you're both having a great time, we've all been there before, you're having a fantastic time, and you're like, the night is ending. Crud. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? 21st of June.
21st of June.
What am I going to do? And you want to have a place to go. So you got to have 2 places. And you got to like develop a plan. Like, where's your go-to spot? Where's your go-to drink spot? Don't pick a dinner spot. Don't go to Olive Garden, you stupid loser. Pick a cool, trendy drink spot. And then have a place to go to afterwards. It doesn't even have to be a party. I mean, it could be a cool lookout in like a scenic area. It could be, I don't know, it's a show.
Don't look at me. Where was your after date dinner option?
It's a pandemic, sweetie. So
right, okay.
shush.
All right.
Shush. My old plan, what I used to do was I would go to No Vacancy was my place. If you guys are familiar with LA, No Vacancy is a great date spot. But if I didn't go there, depending on the girl, depending on who I was talking to and feeling out their vibe, if you know it, you're probably thinking, Matt, that's
Dependent on
kitschy
the
as
loser.
shit. Shush. I would also, that was like a little bit more of a rambunctious first idea. My first place I would usually take girls was Roger Room on La Cienega down the street from EPLP. I'd either go to Roger Room or EPLP, depending on the person. Roger Room, usually, great drink spot. They don't even serve food there. I think they have like pickles and nuts or something. I don't know. And then if it went well, then we'd go to No Vacancy. It's the same vibe. They had magic shows. They had like tightrope walkers. They had a live band. It was great. So if the dates went well, we could go there. And then that's it. you kind of take it from there. Leave them wanting more. You back off. You go to the cool place. Like, wow, this person's cool. They know all the cool spots. Then you go, all right, see you later. And you leave at like 10:30, 11. Leave them wanting more. But have an option. You don't have to always exercise that option, but just have something in the back of your mind floating around for using your creativity. Next, number 8. Always text afterwards. I don't know why, like, millennials are so bad at not talking and communicating with each other. They don't say how they're feeling. They're the most impolite people in the entire world too. And that's what this really comes down to. It's about politeness. It's about just being a polite person. Text them. You don't have to say, I had a great time tonight. Just say, hey, if the guy paid for the bill, thanks for paying for the bill. Just say thanks, or thanks for tonight. You know, I always texted them, hey, I had a great time. If you had a great time, I had a great time. Hey, thanks for meeting. If you don't have a good time, you don't have to say, I had a great time. Say, thanks for meeting up tonight. That's all you need to do. It's a simple gesture just to kind of put a little frosting on top of the night. Let it just, have an end to it. Don't just ghost them. That happened to me a billion times. And I wasn't offended. It wasn't like I had a blast. There was plenty of bad dates I was on where the girl didn't text. And this was like, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 years ago. I spent like $120 on drinks and dinner, and she didn't even say a single fucking thing. And we both did not like each other. It was a date where she sucked, and I would probably suck. That's impossible. I don't suck. I'm amazing. I was swinging, punching, kicking the whole night. I was killing it. I don't remember how the date actually went. I just remember she didn't text me, and I'm like, it's not. You don't need to. I'm not asking you to. Oh, thank you so much for paying for it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, let's acknowledge that, like, all right, there was an end to this night. So text afterwards, communicate, and that's how you should start off your relationship, is being a communicative person. What are you doing over there? Am I boring you?
No, I'm trying to see what your first text was to me.
Can you go to the net? You can do that after the show. Can you?
I thought I'd give a bit of input.
Well, you're searching back to messages from what, a year ago?
Yeah.
Number 9. Set up the next date immediately, if applicable. Don't wait. Do it. Text them immediately. On your follow-up text, set up the next date. While the energy's hot, while the bubbles are bubbling, while she's feeling all hot and bothered because you took her to some cool places, you showed her how's it going, and you're having a great time. Or if you're the girl, you had a really fantastic time and you want to just talk to this guy again, set up the next date. These stupid dating games, these rules, these texting games we play with each other are dumb. What are you, in 6th grade? Just be a person and talk to the other person. Set up your next date immediately. Let them know. It shows interest immediately. Hook them in. Hook, line, and stinker. And it's pretty simple. And then lastly, don't shit your pants. This is a bad idea, people. Shitting your pants on the first date will ruin it. You might think you can trust a fart, and then a little bit of poo comes out.
Stop.
Not a good idea. You're going to have to go in the bathroom. You have to change. And then you have to leave abruptly. It's going to ruin the whole date. So I would highly advise against shitting your pants on the first date. It's going to make everything awkward and weird. It's not going to set the relationship off on a good foot either. So just be mindful of that, I would say. Just try your best not to eat, maybe calamari or, soured calamari the night before, or Indian food or anything like that, Taco Bell, just to avoid shitting your pants. It'll put you in a very precarious situation. But I feel like that needed to be said. But those are the basic tips for me. I'm sure I left some out. I threw this together in about 10 minutes. So I'm sure I left one of my secret tips. But those are my secret tips. I think they're good, solid, basic tips. You probably were expecting something more groundbreaking. It's really not that groundbreaking. I think the most important ones are drink and eat. And don't go to somewhere fancy. Those are some easy magic sauce right there. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. And also be yourself.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. That's where drinking comes from.
Oh, well, okay.
Be yourself. We talked about this. You weren't paying attention to the show today, were you?
I was trying to get up other facts and things, but then I didn't find any.
Do you have anything to add? Are there any tips from Beth?
Yeah, kind of don't be a creep.
Yeah, so that's a good segue actually to my next point, which is the COVID dating thing. I know it's a little different now. I mean, obviously, it depends on what your comfort level is. I don't know why you wouldn't be comfortable seeing someone on a date now. Pretty much everyone's vaccinated, but you still are. Video dates, people look at it as being weird. Oh, I don't want to video dates. Weird. It's like, no, it's fucking awesome. I did probably 20 video dates at the very beginning of COVID.
Oh, you didn't do a video date with me, but
because I didn't need to do a video date with you. And they work out great. If you're a woman, especially because there's no pressure, you can sit in your PJs, have a glass of wine. You don't have to worry about the guy being a creep. If he sucks, you just hang up, and that's it. And you can block his number. No big deal.
Sometimes as a woman, though, you do feel like you still have to do your hair and makeup for those.
Well, you don't. You don't.
I bloody well did.
Being yourself.
Bloody well did.
Being yourself. That's what it comes down to. Just be yourself. If you don't fucking feel like it, then don't do it.
Don't do it.
And yeah, don't be a creep if you're a guy. Like, try not to be fucking weird. Fucking weird. But I know that's hard for a lot of men for some fucking reason.
Yeah, it's hard.
But it's also hard for women not to be shitty on some of these first dates. So just don't be a shitty person is I guess the overall message. But when it comes to COVID, yeah, I mean, we're obviously in difficult times here, but there's no excuses for not seeing people. So you can still get on dating apps. You can still message people. You can still video FaceTime them, whatever. You can do social distance dates if you're worried about it. Go to the beach, go to a park, go to, I don't know. I don't fucking care. You're an adult. Be creative. Figure out your own dates. But these are my tips, and this is coming free of charge. You don't have to subscribe for this. I gave you my free tips for how I found happiness in the arms of a lover. And just remember, you can too. You can find love. You can find happiness. And you can use my tips to get there. So, that's it for this episode. It's probably weird as shit. You probably hated it. I don't care.
I liked it.
Life is a mess right now for me and Beth. So we're figuring shit out. And we'll talk to you next week. And
hold on. You said that like something bad's happening between us. It's not. It's a good life figuring out.
I didn't say it was bad. You said it was bad. But Beth hates our life right now. It's not a big deal. Beth hates where our life is. It sucks, but we're going through some shit. These episodes will be more consistent and maybe longer next time. But until then, hasta la vista, baby. See you next week.